Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is Fakadu from Youth and Education Support Service Ethiopia from Yes Ethiopia. Recently, after moving to the United States, I'm receiving a lot of questions, emails, and phone calls from young people from Africa, from Ethiopia, asking about the step-by-step process of applying to a graduate program here in the US. So I'm going to tell you some of the very basic, very important process, starting from when you are in the university, attending undergraduate degree maybe, or a high school in Ethiopia, and some of the most important things to do all the way until you come to the US, study, finish, graduate, and then look for a job. So the first thing when you are studying in Ethiopia, in Africa, wherever you are, first thing is don't forget to be really do your best. Invest your best time, effort, motivation, and dedication, and build a very good relationship with your classmates, with your teachers, with the campus community, with the school community. Engage in extracurricular activities, in volunteer activities, and student clubs, and get practical experience in addition to being very academically committed and motivated student. So it's very, very important that you invest your best to the ongoing education and to the ongoing academic and extracurricular activities. Then, once you finish, everything should be documented, If you have been working as part of a volunteer club or a students club or an association or free service supporting orphanages or elderly centers or volunteering on social media, digital skills or whatever, if you attended a short training, you need to have a document showing that specific program. Then, when you plan to study in the US, the first thing is you need to have an official degree or a legal document that shows you completed a high school or a university degree, and then we call that official transcript. Okay, official transcripts are sent from university to university. So let's say you wanted to study at the University of Nebraska. First, go to the University of Nebraska website and then check for the degree program where you want to study. Let's say it can be agricultural economics, it can be agricultural leadership, education, and communication, it can be agronomy, it can be plant science, it can be entomology, or it can be electrical engineering, or whatever you want to study. First, go to the website, search for the specific department, and see for their specific admission requirements and the process. Go through the application process, and then prepare your documents and your CV, your motivation letter, and you need to have 3 references or recommendation letters in mind. Usually they don't ask you to submit a recommendation letter, rather they will ask you for names and contact address of 3 academic recommendations. Don't forget, academic recommendations are very important. These are people who know you. These are teachers. These are academic advisors, department heads, someone who knows you professionally, someone that can comment on your professional readiness to go into next step in your career. You need to have a passport, a valid passport, and then you need to pay application fee. Sometimes they can waive the application fee. You also need to take a language exam, but they also sometimes waive the language requirement. Okay, it's not always necessary to take TOEFL or GRE. I didn't take any of this. Coming to study in the US, applying to study in Belgium, a PhD program that I didn't finish. Now I'm doing PhD leadership studies, and I was requested, but I submitted a letter asking for a waiver because I told them, in the first place, it's very expensive. Second, I'm very far from where the center for exam to get these language exams. And third, I also showed them some of the papers I publish. And because I was also teaching in English, medium of instruction campus, so I used these arguments to ask a waiver for the language requirement, and they gave me. So it's very important that you get an academic advisor, someone who is a mentor, someone who is within the program where you plan to study. if you want to study at the University of Nebraska, you need to have someone in that department, let's say in the Department of Electrical Engineering. It can be a current student, it can be a professor, someone to guide you, and if possible to be your academic advisor. That's very, very important. Then you need to have a very good LinkedIn profile and reach out to the community of that department and become friends and introduce yourself and ask for their guidance. Okay, you need to get first complete the application form. Sometimes they ask you to name a professor. When you apply to the University of Nebraska, some of the programs ask, did you reach out to an advisor or a professor who is willing to be your advisor? They will ask. So you need to have this person in mind, and you get this by sending an email to their profile. There is email address or contact, LinkedIn contact in their profile, in the university profile. So do that. And once you applied, you get admission. Okay, good news, you are accepted to join this program. The next question is, how do you plan to pay? Are you going to be self-sponsored? Do you look for assistantship, research assistantship, or teaching assistantship? This is very, very, very important. A lot of young people, they don't understand what assistantship is. What is teaching assistant or research assistant? When you come to study in the US, usually most universities would ask you to work 20 hours a week, get paid, and then pay the basic fees, and then also have a pocket money to live for a house and the like. So ask advisors, someone who have an assistantship. Once you get an assistantship, now you can start about visa application, DS 160 for a visa process, and then you need to get a SEVIS number by paying, I think it's about $350, and you need to think about flight tickets. Okay, well, one recommendation I give, if you get your visa, then you go to buy a flight ticket, please note the transit time. Sometimes we forget and then we make only 1 hour transit time. Let's say you come from Addis Ababa to New York, then from New York, make sure before you board the next flight, at least you have 3 hours or 4 hours. Don't make it 1 hour transit time. Maybe the plane comes delayed and there is a possibility that you lose your next flight. So just try to have at least 3 or 4 hours between one flight and the other. Okay, housing arrangements. Also, you need to arrange your own house in the US or wherever you go. That's why it helps to have people in your network. It's good to know if you are coming to University of Nebraska. It's good to know the current students in University of Nebraska, the Ethiopian students, the African students, people from your country, and reach out to them and be honest and ask for what is the cheaper way of getting a house and the like. Medical preparation, I really strongly advise you, if before leaving home, you need to have medicine, let's say painkillers, medicine for some food poisoning, maybe malaria. You're coming from Africa. I remember there was a friend who had malaria and it was difficult to get medicine. So make sure you have the basic medications in your bag, okay? And then electronics. Sometimes chargers doesn't fit. The charger from Europe, from Africa, doesn't work in the US electric system. So you need to make sure you study and prepare yourself ahead of time how to get the right charger for your computer and for your phone, unless maybe you don't have access to electronics. Okay, make sure also if your phone is compatible with the US SIM. Go to the internet and then check the UEIE number. There is a number, unique code of number on your phone that you can check if this phone can accept US SIM card. Okay, and the third is train lines, bus lines, and taxi lines. You need to know how far is your university from the airport. Let's say you might come to Nebraska, go to Omaha, but if you don't come to Lincoln, you need to know how to get the taxi, how to get the trains, and be prepared ahead of time. You can Google YouTube videos and the like and be clear about it. And language, I really strongly encourage you to practice your English. I know my English by itself is not enough. For example, now I'm studying in English. I'm almost finishing my PhD. I'm learning every day. I'm improving myself every day. Okay, so be bold enough. Accept that everybody have some weaknesses. No one is perfect. You can always improve your language and courses. Once you arrive, you need to know before even coming which courses I take during the first semester, what are the courses for second semester, third semester. You need to make a clear program of study from beginning to finish. What are the major things that you do every semester? Ask students which are already in the program. The students will tell you. So reach out to the students, reach out to the senior students and ask, what are the major requirements in this program? If there is a credit transfer, okay? And then there is a qualification exam. For some programs, they have a qualification exam and comprehensive exam. I had a comprehensive exam. After you finish all your courses, you'll be given an exam. It's like an exit exam. Some programs have qualification exam. Just after 1 year, they have qualification exam. Then at the end of 3 years or 2 years, they have comprehensive exam. And then you need to form your own PhD or master's committee before you finish. And then you need to write a research if that's like the nature of your study, and you need to get an IRB, ethical clearance, and then you need to attend conferences and prepare for graduation. And then the final point is to get to job, you need to apply for OPT, H1B or EB visas. For this, you need to save money. I think with this hint, now you can start researching. Let's say, what's a job work permit for students in the US after they finish? For international students, F1 visa holders, they need to get an OPT or H1B visa or EB visas to have a work permit in the US. If you have STEM training, you get 3 years OPT if they don't change it. For non-STEM training, it's 1 year OPT. So I hope this helps you, and good luck with your studies, and share this information with those in your network. And we say in Ethiopia, sharing is caring. So thanks so much.